Yeah, so my first engagement with agricultural development was in 2007 when I was part of a team from when I was in McKinsey working on developing the national strategy of Kenya. And agriculture was one of the 6 sectors that we chose to focus on. And first of all, nobody else on the McKinsey team wanted to touch agriculture because they just thought, agriculture wasn't interesting, it wasn't sexy. They'd rather do ICT or manufacturing or those sorts of things. So I took on the agriculture sector. And again, the whole way that the approach was taken was, okay, the private sector probably won't really play a big role, so this is more of a development thing. It's going to take government money, donor money. And that was just 6 years ago, right? If you were doing, an agricultural strategy now, the basic focus would be getting investors, domestic and foreign, in whether small or large-scale agriculture, and then the government stuff is more unlocking, providing incentives, etc. Completely different. If you also look at the way, the new kind of fashionable innovations in agricultural development, they're all private sector driven. In the old days it was all the social entrepreneurs, it was or grant funded things, which in many ways helped lead the way because they sort of set the example. They worked out the kinks. But now it's all private sector. It's no more that, okay, this is a grant funded enterprise, but it's this is a for-profit enterprise, a for-profit approach, fully commercial, whether you're working with smallholder farmers or large-scale agriculture. So really in 6 years it's just completely changed on both of those levels. So it's pretty fascinating how that's happened so quickly. I think when again back to the 2007 when we were looking at the Kenyan agriculture sector, the average age of the Kenyan farmer was 60, or even a bit higher. I think in other countries it was even higher. Youth didn't want to have anything to do with agriculture. Even families that had decent agricultural holdings, whether coffee, tea, whatever, once the father or mother retired, the children usually just parceled up the land and sold it off. There just wasn't that understanding or a feeling that this could be something commercially viable that they would want to do. Agriculture was seen as something drudgery, something your grandfather did. But it's completely changing now. And here in Nigeria, the Minister of Agriculture has really switched the youth onto agriculture particularly, and we have lots of young people who are now thinking of agriculture as a really viable career. Whether it's that there's some family land that they have that they never thought had value before, and now they're going to start exploiting that, or they're getting into processing, etc. I think the real drive is going to be from the young people. But I think if governments can help develop that further by providing additional incentives and so on, and additional support to get them there. But I think it is happening. We're seeing it happen. As a foundation, we focus on issues of entrepreneurship and competitiveness, and we primarily look at how to address development and social problems through entrepreneurial approaches. And so for us, agriculture is really a solution. It's a problem, but it's also a solution. If you get agriculture right, you solve so many issues like rural poverty, rural-urban migration, food security, national security, job creation, etc. And so, when our impact investing portfolio thus far, the only investments we've made have actually been in agriculture. That includes a farm in Tanzania, commodity exchange in East Africa. We're looking at a couple of different deals here in Nigeria. And that's just because there's so many, you can tick so many boxes with a good agricultural investment, and it can be really, whether it's inputs or production or processing or marketing, jobs are created along the way, value is created along the way, and there's just so much positive that comes out of it. So again, we don't look at it as the old way of, okay, this is a development problem that we need to solve and give grants to small farmers. It's more, this is a business opportunity that if we can set some really good examples of how you can do it right, then others will follow.